Hi, gang. It's Kale.
And Patrick.
Coming up on today's episode, we uncover our Fab 5 Yas Queen moments in Disney history. As always, we discuss the latest Disney news, and we close out the show with some quick D. All that and more on today's episode of Gays Do the D.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Patrick, we went to an Ides of March party, and I went as Jackie Onassis in a pink Chanel suit and pillbox hat and blood on my dress. Well, ketchup mostly, and other stuff too, like macaroni kind of glued on like brains. Kazuki!
Come on, the House of Yes.
Yes!
Kale, gay as blazes English.
I like that. That's a good one.
Thank you. Do you know what that's from?
Gay as Blazes?
Yeah.
It's Blazing Saddles?
No, it's the fictional gay soap opera on the American version of the TV show Queer as Folk.
It's oh, that's right. The show they used to watch in the show.
Correct. Yeah.
So let me tell you. So I was really young when Queer as Folk was a thing.
Yeah,
and I can
you
remember
were like 4.
No, I was literally I was in late elementary school, early middle school, when it would show like the reruns, right? Like of like seasons past. And so I can remember I would have the volume on like 2 and I'd be doing that thing like where I'd have my ear up to the TV and then I'd turn and look at it and ear up to the TV and turn and look just so nobody could hear me watching it.
Right.
Because it was vile, but amazing.
When that intro came on, there was no question that like you were clearly watching porn.
No, yeah, they didn't even try to hide it. They let you know what was up, what was happening.
Yeah, there
right
was
away.
no like black saran wrap around the magazine. There was just full on like male nudity in the introduction.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And then there was never like nothing that they said was ever. It would always be said with the sarcastic connotation, but the phrasing was not sarcastic. So it was not an innuendo, but it would be said in the style of Mae West.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
that's right.
It was
It was an outuendo for sure.
It was an outuendo. Absolutely.
Amazing. Off to a great start with this episode. Very apropos for today.
Yes.
It feels weird that we're so a little behind the scenes. We're recording on a Thursday evening, which almost never happens in GDTD.
This is the first time ever.
That's right. I'm
in
heading
GDTD
out of
history.
Town. That's right. I'm heading out of town I'm currently in Las Vegas if you're listening to this on the drop date. So
Las Vegas.
That's right. Hopefully I'm alive. We'll find out.
What's that from?
Seen.
Viva Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas. Is that from Friends?
It is from Friends.
Oh,
yes, that's correct.
Kathleen
Hell in a
Turner,
handbasket.
right?
I don't really care for New York. Queens, I like.
Queens, I like. I like it. Oh, Kale. All right, let's get into it. How are you? How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I will say it's been a week so far, but I'm hanging in there. I'm doing this thing where I'm sort of reminding myself on a daily basis that I have to be nicer to myself.
Okay.
And so it just like came to me one day. Like if I'm going to let other people beat me up, I shouldn't do it too.
Fair enough. What does that look like? How are you being nice to yourself?
Well, I'm broke. I'm just kidding. I was implying that I was buying myself a lot of gifts.
Yeah, I have to go shopping now.
No, I mean, it's just honestly like today's like a good example, or this week in general. So like, I typically, I feel there's a weird sense of like, not like failure, but disappointment that I feel if I don't like make it to the gym every day. And this week, like it's Thursday. I haven't been since Monday. And it's like, I kind of feel good. Like it kind of just feels good to like sit down. I even went for like a small run today, which I forget how hard it is to get back into running. It's actually horrid.
It is,
but as much as I love the gym, I love going, I love feeling active. It feels good to not have the mindset of I did something bad because I didn't go. Do you know what I mean? And so, it just little things like that. And then, last night I did something. People are going to come for me.
Uh-oh.
But last night, Moulin Rouge, the national tour, is in town. And I left during intermission.
You know, you're not the only one. I know a lot of people who did the same thing. I did not do it.
You're being serious?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I know a handful of people who were like, this is not for me, for sure.
That, I didn't hate it. That was my sentiment exactly.
Yeah.
It just was not for me. And
Yeah.
it was and I was tired and
Yeah. Listen, is it a groundbreaking musical? It's not, but it's just campy fun, and if you're not in the mood for it, it's not a show for you at all.
you know what? No. Well, and as much as I remember liking the film's the same way. Like if you're sort of tired and in a chill mood, the film is not something you should watch because
Absolutely.
it's also insane. But yeah. So, but just things like that. Not beating myself up for being disrespectful at the theater. not beating myself up for not going to the gym.
Great. Giving yourself grace.
But how are you? How's your week?
I feel like you and I are having similar weeks. It's been a week. It's been a stressful week. I do feel like accomplished this week, but I'm also incredibly tired because I feel so accomplished this week, work-wise anyways, And I'm trying to remind myself, like, I recently took the Myers-Briggs test, which is not the end-all be-all, obviously, and you shouldn't use it to, like, judge yourself or to, like, discover yourself necessarily, but it can be very helpful, and something that popped in mind was very specific in that it said the type that you are is very likely to misread what other people think about you, or to like misread social cues, or to assume that people are thinking the worst of you. And I absolutely do that, and it eats away at me. And so I'm trying to give myself the space to go, you know what? Whatever I think about other people, about how they think of me, has no impact, or should have no impact, of how I actually live my life, right? Like, whether or not it's true what someone thinks of me,
right?
It's probably not true, and that shouldn't stop me from doing what I think is the best thing for me and for others. So that's the journey I'm on this week.
No, but that's a good journey, and you're exactly right. And this is also going to sound controversial.
Listen.
Sometimes I guess it might be when someone does like struggle with anxiety. I hate taking tests like when we ever do like team building exercises at work. I'm all the time like, whatever results I'm going to get back, they're not going to be what I want. I want them to be. And so like the Clifton Strength Finder is one of my top 5 is context, which is actually supposed to be considered a strength. Like I need to know the backstory of why I'm doing something, of why it works this way, and then when I'm telling it to someone, they need to know all the. But then that the way it translates, it hits my brain, my ear, and then goes through the crazy straw, and then I turn it into great. I talk too much, and I want everybody to talk to me too much back.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Just be yourself, and team building is dumb and stupid.
Disagree there.
You want to learn more about your team? Cocktail hour.
If my team wants to know more about me, cocktail hour.
Let's see how many Mad Dog 2020s Denise can down, okay? In an hour.
Dear.
That'll tell me all I need to know.
Fair.
Context.
Fair enough. But you know what? It all just goes back to what you said earlier. Like, you're right. We all have to be better to ourselves, because
absolutely.
You and I, at least, we think the worst of ourselves. And that's just not true.
Yeah.
I think the worst of you, Kale. So take that off of your shoulders.
Well, yeah. Same. I also make it my mission every day to make you think that the world does in fact hate you.
I know. And I thank you.
By texting you and saying, good morning, failure.
And I thank you. It really it motivates me on the daily. Well, great.
Aww.
Great check-in.
Yes.
Where to next, Kale? You tell me. Guide this ship for us.
Yes, well, we have some of our tweetles that are celebrating.
Oh, I like this. Get us right into some happy moments. Let's do that.
Okay, perfect. So on Instagram, at Parmesan Cheese, bought our first ever Disney World annual pass.
Ooh.
Back on sale today.
Yeah, we didn't add it to the news because it's like already going to be passed by the time we talk about it. But
and they'll be sold out.
They're done.
Yeah.
So congrats to you.
Yes,
Parmesan
congrats.
cheese. Moving on, we have at Bethany Likes Books. Me too, Bethany. Saying, getting my final project for my master's program submitted and approved. Congratulations. Oh boy.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah. Masters in what, though? We want to know more information.
Yes. Context. I just told you.
Our tweetles are very vague, aren't they?
They are. No. Okay. Well, speaking of vague, at
Great.
traveling_theater_nerd, the musical I'm directing opens this weekend. What musical?
Moulin Rouge, the musical, Kale.
Oh my gosh! No. What if he
just
has
dragged
footage?
his
He
show.
has. Oh my gosh! He has footage of me walking out during intermission. It's gonna be all. It's gonna go viral. No,
really is.
traveling theater nerd. Please let us know what musical that you're directing, and also let us know how opening weekend goes.
Yes.
Patrick and I are theater
assuming-
nerds.
That's true. I'm assuming it went well. I'm assuming it went very well.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Yes. We assume it went amazingly.
Lead with good intentions. Moving on, we have at C_Ross22_ saying, my birthday at Storybook Dining, fantastic, on April 30th, and signing up for Dopey. Two amazing accomplishments.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Happy birthday. And Dopey, I don't even dare to do Dopey yet.
Right. Yeah. I was inspired once upon a time to register for Dopey, and then a pandemic
tried.
happened, and I think I caused it.
Yeah. We tried. Both of us trying to run at the same time. The world was like,
we did.
Not going to happen. Do it.
I know. Boy. At Kimchi, keeping my sanity after a long week. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long week. Keep that
has.
sanity.
Man.
Yeah, it has been a long week.
Has everybody had a week? Is this like something that we're not unique? We're not snowflakes, Kale. Everyone's had a week, right?
This is true. Yes. Let us know if you've had a long week.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
There was a cuss word in there, and I'm not using the bleep because I'm tired. It's been a long week. Moving on, we have Ben. How would you say this? Lamoureux?
I believe that's how I would say it. Yes.
Come on, Lamoureux, saying, heading out on my wedding trip. The big day is April 28th. My goodness, so many celebrations this week.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Yeah, send us photos of your wedding.
Yes. We need all the pictures.
All of them.
At Magical Travels with Randy, new job.
Amazing. Well done.
Amazing. Well done. We knew this was the job that was meant for you. Patrick and I have been saying it all along. We said this new job, it's the one for him.
It's the one, and we don't need to know what it is. It's just new job.
No, we don't need to. Yeah, new job.
Again,
we know
no
it's
context.
the perfect fit. You were meant to do this.
If you send us things with no context, we are going to automatically assume just horrendous things. So, congratulations on your job as a phone escort. I'm going to use
as
that
a phone
word.
escort. Yeah, a phone escort.
Mm-hmm. So well done to you.
Well done to you. Stick it in. Your credit card number, that is.
Oh, fantastic. Well, congratulations, everybody. Thank you for sending in those moments of joy, those celebrations. We celebrate all of you.
Patrick,
Yes, Kale.
do you want to get into a little bit of listener feedback?
I always want to know about what our listeners are saying behind our backs.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start it off on account of I was not in this episode.
Great.
Okay. So, at Mr. Kevy Kevs, responding to last week's drag topic, a great topic for sure. The genie in Aladdin popping up as one of the balcony girls during the Prince Ali entrance was always a moment I knew felt like my people when I was a kid, even before I had the language to describe it. I would say that is a perfect way to even describe that feeling.
Yeah.
Felt like my people when I was a kid, even before I had the language to describe it. That's amazing.
That's this episode. That's this whole episode,
Yes,
basically.
it is.
Well
Yes.
done. Mr. Kevin Kevs, you knew what we were about to do on this episode. Moving on, we have at KDevil1 saying, watching Princess and the Frog right now, and at the end of the song, going down the bayou, Lewis, the alligator, gets dressed up in drag from the lightning bugs. I totally forgot about that. Thank you
I did
for the
too.
reminder. Yeah.
Yes, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
At Andy Heath Puppeteer, the list is endless. Here's a few you didn't mention. Iago dragging up as a flamingo and putting on Jasmine's voice in Aladdin. Kuzco as a llama playing a questionable woman in Emperor's New Groove. Also, Cruella de Vil, period.
I mean, and that's on period. I will, listen, Andy Heath Puppeteer, thank you for dragging us in not mentioning those, but we did actually mention Cruella for quite some time. So maybe listen up a little harder
Andy
next
Heath,
time.
don't hold back. Give us feedback about his correction to you this time even.
I totally forgot about Iago. Like, not only was in drag, but then used Jasmine's voice as well, which was hilarious. I love that moment in the movie.
And isn't it amazing how much he sounded like her?
Yeah, what a weird accomplishment. Not magic at all. Not magic at all. And last but not least, we have at Red Shoes 999 saying, "Hey guys, loved the most recent episode all about drag. I kept waiting for you to mention the draggiest, campiest moment I've ever seen in a Walt Disney World stage show. Clarabelle Cow singing All I Want for Christmas Is You in the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party show. Unquestionably a drag performance, and now she's showing up in my TikTok feed dancing, dare I say voguing, to the Jammin' Chefs at DCA Food and Wine. That queen slays all day. Thanks for making my favorite podcast." I mean, you're not wrong. We are your favorite podcast, but also Clarabelle Cow drags.
Slays. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
She or he, I don't know, who can say, knows what they're doing. Well done.
They know what they're doing. Yes. And then have you seen Clarabelle's outfit in the Pride Night promo?
Oh, we're going to talk about it a little bit in the news, but yeah, for sure.
Yes, we do have some news today, but first, can we talk about the Marvels trailer?
I mean, that is news for sure because it did drop recently, and I have to say, I haven't been this excited about a Marvels or a Star Wars kind of franchise movie in a while, and this one looks incredible to me.
I always feel like when it's, so the last time that I got really excited about a Marvel trailer was Black Panther 2. And that's really it for me. I always feel like a buzzkill when it comes to Marvel, but none of it is exciting.
Wait, are you saying you didn't like Black Panther 2?
I actually have still not seen Black Panther 2, but when the trailer came when the trailer came out, I got super, super excited about it. I mean, like I thought it looked good, but like historically, any other Marvel film, when the trailer comes out and people are going crazy, but meanwhile, I've watched every Little Mermaid trailer 1.2 million times.
Fair. And historically, you're not like the biggest Marvel fan in the world anyways, right? Okay. No. Well, I really enjoyed this trailer. It looks like a stellar, like it looks like what I loved about Marvel in the first place, like early Marvel. It feels like we're getting back into that groove now with this new movie.
It does very much look classic. I have to say.
Okay.
I'm confused by the whole like the whole like when they keep saying that they're about to start, what is it? What are we moving into? The
newest phase of the Marvel.
Phase 3 or phase whatever.
It's like 6 now, I think.
I don't know where I don't know what all of them mean. And like what someone message me, DM me on Instagram and explain it to me, and then that might clear some stuff up, because it all seems to me like it's one universe where it's all happening, but then there's like phases.
Right. I don't think that you need to think about it as like it's different, like it's all different. It's all the same. It's just like different chapters in the timeline that we're moving towards.
So then why don't they say
Marvel
chapter instead of, because phases like mitosis. Remember mitosis?
I mean, fair. Think about it like that. No, you're not wrong. I think that that's just an overhyped way of saying like this is the new section of movies that all sort of are related to each other very specifically, and that are going to get us into the next phase. Anyways, that being said, this new phase feels really fun and exciting and back to what we've been missing for the past, I don't know, several years, in my opinion.
Are they just doing the most?
Okay, so Kale is not a fan, is what we're saying. But it does, in fact, drop in theaters this November 10th. What are your thoughts,
Go
Tweedles?
see it on November 10th.
Kale will not be the host on that review, which is fine. To each their own. Oh, dear. Kale, I'm not going to let you take us into this next segue because you're just going to skip right over it. So it's time for This Week in Disney History, Kale.
Oh, no.
Yay.
All right, here we go. So the last 2 episodes, you've given me a quiz. Are you doing that this time?
No, I don't want to involve you at all in This Week in Disney History.
Well,
okay.
That's unfortunate for you because I studied up on my Disney history this week.
Fantastic. So, Kale, 70 years ago, on April 16th, 1953, we're starting off with a birthday. Animator, director, and writer Ron Clements was born in Sioux City, Iowa. So Kale Clements began his animation career with Hanna-Barbera, then took a 2-year apprenticeship at Disney under Disney legend and one of the 9 old men, Frank Thomas. Clements' feature debut was as an animator on both The Rescuers and Pete's Dragon in 1977. At Disney, he was partnered with John Musker, and over the years, the two did the heavy lifting on animation, storyboarding, writing, and directing for The Great Mouse Detective, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Hercules, Treasure Planet, The Princess and the Frog, and Moana. Clements retired in 2018, but was brought back as a consultant for the live-action Aladdin in 2019.
So I didn't know that he originally worked for Hanna-Barbera, and I also did not know it was not Hanna-Barbera until you said it very confidently the other way.
What's his name again, Kale?
Ron Clements.
Okay, good for you. Okay, great. You did, so you remembered Ron's name. Congratulations.
Partnered with John Musker.
There you go. Listen to you recalling facts as though you knew them. Moving on, 34 years ago, Kale, on April 24th, 1989, the all-new Mickey Mouse Club debuted on the Disney Channel, featuring host Fred Newman. Now, a few fun facts. This is not about Fred Newman, but a few fun facts about this otherwise seemingly non-celebrity. Newman was a writer, comedian, voice actor, and musician. He voiced characters in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Gremlins, Elmo's World, Men in Black, and he voiced both Skeeter and Porkchop in the cartoon Doug, which he also wrote the theme song for. Also, he worked a lot with Jim Henson and the Muppets, but as I said, this is not about Fred Newman. I just thought that was super interesting. Back to the Mickey Mouse Club. This new show was, of course, a revamp of the original Mickey Mouse Club, where the kids performed in skits and sang their own versions of popular songs at the time. The show was filmed at what was then Disney's MGM Studios in Florida. Though not part of this original cast, at the show's premiere, the all-new Mickey Mouse Club did launch the careers of Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, J.C. Chazé, Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling, and Kerry Russell.
That is fascinating because, embarrassingly, I thought the Mickey Mouse Club was a sandwich.
Wow. The Mickey Mouse Club sandwich. Fantastic. Fantastic. And that, Kale, was your favorite portion of the episode called This Week in Disney History. Oh, let's just move on to the news because I'm mad at you. That's why.
All right. Patrick.
Yes, Kale.
Are you ready to talk about the Real Housewives of Greedy Creek?
I have to say, I'm over it. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I keep hoping this is the last week we can talk about it. Ugh, it's the worst. So we thought we'd just start off the news with you and I just chatting about it quickly, and then moving on to some happier, better news. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So since we last visited Greedy Creek, the Florida Senate has filed legislation to void Disney and Greedy Creek agreements as of the agreements that they made 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a mess, and nothing has happened since then. Like, there's been a press conference in which they were just like, this isn't right. We can't do this.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. And so far, nothing's been decided as of this recording. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow or on Saturday or Sunday? But so far, they're just claiming that Disney did all of this illegally, and it remains to be seen. I don't know. It's dumb. It's real dumb.
It's extremely dumb. Just because I just imagine like in that board meeting, a bunch of old men saying, "I beg your pardon," which I've never heard a person say in real life. It's just like that's just
it's basically it's the bank scene in Mary Poppins, right? It's just
yes, that's exactly what it is.
That's all that's happening right now.
They even sing the worst song.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So then, former President Donald Trump.
I hate that we have to say it on our podcast, but okay.
I know. He weighed in on the Ron DeSantis feud with Disney.
He sure did. So here's the quote from him. That person, is he a person? I don't know. Did say, interestingly, quote, DeSantis is being...
No, you have to do the voice. You have to do the voice.
Absolutely not. No. That's just doing Trump drag, and that's an injustice
You're right.
to drag.
That's fair. That's fair.
Not doing it. So that idiot said, quote, DeSantis is being absolutely destroyed by Disney. His original PR plan fizzled, so now he's going back with a new one in order to save face. Then he went on to say they could even announce a slow withdrawal or sale of certain properties or the whole thing. Watch, exclamation point. And when I say he said this, he tweeted it on his truth. Truthwell, I don't know what it's called.
I know. I don't even know.
Continue on, he then said that would be a killer. In the meantime, this is also unnecessary, a political stunt. So I guess for the first time in forever, Trump got it right, I guess. Like, he's seeing it for what it is. It's weird. It's weird.
Well, it's very, very weird because but at the same time, I mean, Disney is even sort of coming forward with like numbers and facts and like rationales that justify everything that they've done. There was nothing illegal that happened, right?
No.
Like, it's everything that happened was completely within Disney's right. It just, boy,
yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. And then in another press conference, I guess DeSantis claimed that Disney owes us taxes and and is not doing anything for the state. And so Disney, again, pushed out these numbers, not in a press release, but just let some stuff go of actually, Walt Disney World is the largest single site employer in the United States.
Right.
Walt Disney World paid and collected $1.146 billion with a B, billion in state and local taxes during 2022. And just they threw this in for good measure, $30.4 million were given in donations from Disney throughout 2022 to support the community. So everything that DeSantis and his cronies are saying is absolutely false. It's ridiculous that they are claiming.
It's false. And
I read a stat the other day that Disney is not only an enormous employer in the state of Florida, I believe that they are the biggest in the country local employer. So, meaning the most people who live in the state in which Disney is, it's the most amount of people that works for a company in that is benefiting that state.
No, I think I've read that somewhere too. But
it's ludicrous. It's ludicrous.
It's absolutely ludicrous because it's here's the thing. It's, I think we do a good job on this podcast of when we feel like Disney might need to be called out, we don't hesitate to do that.
Absolutely.
Right? And I feel like I just want to give them a pat on the back.
They're handling it with such grace.
They are
right now. Yeah.
Well, because even for a little while when it was first announced that he was sort of building this Reedy Creek board,
Yeah.
I remember a lot of people were like, why aren't they saying anything? And you and I knew why. We were like, they've got something up their sleeve. But I also
We had a
just really
feeling.
like that. I also really like that they're just being tactful, that it's not a peeing match, for lack of a better phrase. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I kind of
Well,
like the fact that it's, they only speak when there's facts and rationales to serve. And
I'm interested to know if any of this has to do with the timing of them replacing the former Bob with the former Bob Iger as the CEO of Disney. Because can you imagine if Bob Paycheck was it Paycheck? I literally just accidentally said Paycheck. Bob Chapek was the head of Disney right now. This would be a very different story, I feel like.
Oh, it absolutely would. Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like the rest of the country, really, honestly, I think some stats are out there of like 80% of the country is like, stop it, DeSantis. We are not behind you. We do not support this.
Yep.
In fact, Time magazine just named Bob Iger one of the most influential people in the world right now. And they questioned him about this whole thing with DeSantis, and they asked him kind of point blank, like, do you feel like you would talk to him and like hash this out? And Bob Iger basically was like, I would love nothing more than to sit down and talk to him about this.
Right.
I would love it because I don't understand what's happening. I don't get where he's coming from, but I would love to sit down and listen to him and to speak to him. And so shots fired. Not, I mean, in a very small, tactful way, but
no, absolutely. It's more like shots deflected.
Shots deflected.
Shots deflected.
Olive Branch reached out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Anyways, we don't want to hash this out too much. We wanted to just like get it out there, but
yeah, and that's a good note to end it on. Our guy Bob Iger, named Time's most influential person, or one of Time's most influential people of 2023. Yeah. I mean, what do I have to do to get it? Start a fire and then rescue everyone, and then I'm a hero, and then I'm in Playgirl.
I mean, maybe just start being nice to people, I think might be a step in the right direction for you.
All right. Do you have a news story?
Let's move on. Let's move on to good stuff.
Move on. For the summer 2023 Run Disney virtual series, Run Disney is celebrating Mickey Mouse through his cringiest moments over the past 100 years. The Steamboat Willie 5K, commemorating the one time Mickey wearing only a hat, shoes, and underpants stole a friggin' boat. When he does it, he's celebrated. When I do it, I'm not allowed back at Port Canaveral. The Sorcerer Apprentice's 5K, reminding us of that one time that Mickey literally stole something that almost drowned the entire world. While he gets a medal, I stole one piece of my niece's Halloween candy when she was 5, and she still locks her bedroom door when I come over. The Runaway Railway 5K. Okay, seriously, Mickey puts Pluto in a picnic basket, drives like a maniac, causes the trunk to burst open, a pie causes the train to blow up, but I put a wooden cutting board in the dishwasher one time. Cool. Each race offers a uniquely designed medal for all finishers. Registration opens April 25th, 2023. The Disney 100 Challenge is the ultimate way to celebrate the miles you've run and the 100th anniversary milestone of the Walt Disney Company.
So I want to offer one rebuttal in Mickey's defense. I believe actually Minnie Mouse was the one who trapped Pluto in the car in Mickey's Runaway Railway. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't want to call you out, but I want to call you in on this one, Kale. Also, I was so confused that you were doing this story because I think you highlighted a different story.
I did. I changed. I wrote 3 different news stories today.
Got you. So, color me surprised. I'm usually never shocked by you, but today I'm shocked in such a good way. And then third thing, are we bringing back our virtual Run Disney trivia nights?
I would love to. I would absolutely love to do that.
Great. That's all I have to say then.
But let's do or you guys tell us. Do you guys want like a springtime Run Disney trivia night and then like a summertime, a wintertime?
Well, this Run Disney event is only in the summertime, so if we're going to do it in line with this one, it has to be in the summer.
But we could do one that's sort of like before, like April, May-ish. And then to get everybody pumped for it, and then while it's happening, and then you're looking at me crazily.
I'm just wondering if you listen to your own story and that this happens in June.
I know it happens. It's June to August is when the window you have to run all three 5Ks.
There it is.
Yes,
there it is. Okay, I'm also shocked that this was the most coherent.
This is my favorite
news story that you've ever given.
Oh, thank you so much. So I haven't actually. I've only seen like the rough like art to these.
Yeah.
Have you? It's actually adorable. It's
beautiful.
They're really really cool. Yeah.
This
is
stunning.
Also. Very much so. I love this. I love this virtual series. I get excited about it every single year. And I didn't actually start doing these until 2020, I believe.
Yeah, until I came into your life.
This is true.
You can thank me later. These medals are absolutely beautiful. They are not dripping with excitement, but they are beautiful.
Yeah, they're very classic. I think it's a good way to celebrate the 100th. You know what I mean?
100%. Disney clearly learned that they shouldn't put the dripping on everything for the 100th anniversary because thank goodness.
They did. Well, because they haven't really been celebrating it that long, and already I think a lot of people are kind of over it.
Shade.
Yeah, but don't tell them.
We need one of those RuPaul shade rattles.
Yeah. I mean, I don't dislike all of the 100th merch. It was just like by the time I finally got used to the 50th and then started seeing the 100th, it was like I need everybody to slow down. I don't even know what day of the week it is.
Fair. Oh, let's move on so we can get over with this episode.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Give me the news, PK.
Disney has officially pissed off the entire GOP by saying, we're here, we're queer, get used to it, at least for 2 nights out of the year. That's right, Disneyland has announced the first ever Disney After Dark Pride Night in the parks. This separately ticketed event will take place on June 13th and 15th.
This is amazing.
Agreed. I think this is incredibly exciting. I am honored to be reporting on this.
So I won't lie. I don't think I saw it happening in the U.S. this soon.
Agreed. We were talking about this on this show. In fact, we think it might be a while before Disney ever does something like this. But here we are. It's
here
happening.
We are.
It's here.
And
here we
Clarabelle
are.
Cow serving.
So for all of you who think this, no, it does not mean that you'll be able to glitter bomb Captain America, as both Pride Nights will be taking place in Disneyland proper, not California Adventure. So here are a few queer tales of what you can expect at Pride Night. You can expect a Pride Night cavalcade featuring Mickey, Minnie, Daisy, Donald, Goofy, and everyone's favorite queen. That's right, Clarabelle Cow. They will be dressed in special Pride attire, making their way down Main Street, USA. Let's put a pin real quick in the rest of what we can expect and talk about these outfits that were released. There was an image that was released, and it is, I have to say, a rendering. It is not an actual photograph of what the costumes look like, so we don't actually know that these will be them, but...
Correct, yes. But the outfits are absolutely stunning.
Absolutely stunning. I think they're beautiful. I will say, they did an interesting thing in that all the male characters are just sort of vaguely Pride, in that they're color blocked with some like primary colors, basically, but all the women are like fully wearing rainbows.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, so like Clarabelle is sort of serving that like Chiquita banana type deal, and then and then Daisy sort of looks like Phyllis Diller, and then it's amazing. Let me tell you what I think would absolutely crush. Are you ready? I'm going to give you a little bit of Imagiqueering.
Great.
Okay, they should have Clarabelle Cow dress up. This is about to be the gayest thing you've ever heard. Great. They should have her dress up like Maureen from Rent. And perform over the moon. Yes.
Fantastic. Disney is listening for sure, and they are going to make that happen.
Make it happen.
That happen. Okay, so moving on to more things you can expect at this Pride night. At the Tomorrowland Terrace, we are indeed family with the Ohana Dance Party, Yas Stitch. Also, it feels like Disney is underestimating just how gay things might get by having a Pride Night dance club along the rivers of America. It's going to get messy, everybody.
Oh, boy.
Moving on, live your Brokeback Truth with country line dancing in the Golden Horseshoe. Guests attending the party will also have unlimited Disney PhotoPass digital downloads with Pride-themed photo spots. And, of course, you can decide whether you like it in the back or in the front on classic attractions like Big Thunder Mountain, Indiana Jones, and the Haunted Mansion. I think I broke Kale with that one. I broke Kale's back with that one. Additionally, exclusive snacks will be available throughout the night, though I do feel, Kale, like they could have gotten a bit more creative with these snacks. So some of the offerings include a chocolate almond churro, I guess maybe because it's shaped like a, you know what I'm saying? There's also
with chocolate on it? That's... Keep going.
Saying. There's a spice beef loaded potato bite, I guess because they're loaded.
Stop.
I don't know. And then there's also a berry cheesecake funnel cake. I mean, because gays like cake. I mean, I don't know. That's as far as I can get on that one. And then there's a grapefruit lemon soda, which I feel like just serve
fruit
vodka sodas.
It's the fruit part.
It's the fruit part. But just
remember in the 90s they used to call us fruits.
Fair enough. But just serve vodka sodas. That's all you need
That's all they need.
But wait.
Also,
go ahead.
There's more?
No,
give me the more.
But wait, there's
give
more.
Me more.
Well, no. Now that I'm saying it with the vodka sodas, you can't serve alcohol in Disneyland, right? Isn't Disneyland still the one dry campus, or do they serve alcohol there now?
I actually think Disneyland it does serve alcohol.
I think
it's Magic Kingdom that you can't, like, I mean, I know that you can drink it at, like, Be Our Guest, certain places, but I think as far as, like, you walking around with alcohol, I think that's what still considers it a dry park. But
okay, fair enough.
I think in Disneyland you are able to drink.
All right, someone correct us on that one. All right, what were you going to say?
Yeah, let us know. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was just it's interesting that because this is clearly their first time doing this. They do not understand the risk they are taking by offering gay men unlimited photo pass.
Yes,
right. Like, I mean,
absolutely.
There has to be a limitation. These poor photo pass employees.
Oh, you understand that they're all going to call it unlimited photo ass, right?
Yes.
100%
yes.
that. Mm-hmm,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag unlimited photo ass.
Hashtag unlimited photo ass. Yes. Tickets are already on sale for this event. To purchase, head on over to Disneyland.com. I'm so proud and scared for Disney.
Same.
This Pride night.
Well, here's the thing. I am so proud too. I do think there is absolutely going to be a learning curve with this, and that's okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember opening day of Disneyland? The cement was wet.
It's going to be wet for a very different reason.
Right.
Here's my call out to all of our Tweedles out there. Don't let Disney shut this down. Like,
please don't.
Do your part to keep it family and to keep it clean and to keep it proper. Don't ruin it. Don't Typhoon Lagoon it. You know what I mean?
If I sit down on Haunted Mansion and can't get off of it because I'm stuck to the seat.
Because the pages are stuck together, let's just don't do it. You know?
Yas, Patrick.
Yas, Kale.
Are you ready to talk about our Fab 5 Yas Queen moments in Disney history?
I'm very excited about this.
Me too.
When you proposed this as the next topic as sort of an add-on to our last episode, I was so proud of the family we've created here at Games to the D.
Yeah, it was the one time that I've ever offered advice or suggested something, and you didn't just either ghost me for days, or like when I got the text message back that said, "Okay, expand on that," I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
she likes it." But, yeah,
I was like, yes,
so-
and tell me more.
that was no, but it just it seems like the perfect time to celebrate all of this and celebrate our community, celebrate who we are as people, and the moments that did this to us or made us realize it.
You know what? Honestly, really and truly, you're not lying. The more I like researched this and got into it and was reading some articles and going back in my memory of what are some moments that Disney was like, hey kid, you might be a little bit gay, because here's what, it just sort of opened my eyes of like, you know what? Disney didn't make me gay, obviously, but Disney like definitely guided my journey a little bit at a young age of
Very
like,
much so.
You know what? It's okay to be different, and we're out there and we see you and we're winking at you. Whether or not others see it, we know that you do.
Absolutely.
And so it sort of made me a little bit emotional and nostalgic, and this was just a really fun topic to dive into.
So before we get directly into it, here's what we mean by our Fab 5 Yes Queen moments in Disney history. So Patrick and I were talking, and we were discussing these moments of you seeing something or hearing a song or experiencing a moment that sort of makes you go, huh, that makes me feel a little different than everybody else.
Yes.
Or you sort of treat it differently than your sister does or your brother does, right? It sort of speaks to you in a way that it didn't speak to other people.
Right. And that's what I mean by it sort of like took me back into history.
Very much so.
Of all like the nostalgia behind and like going through my childhood and like sorting through like, when did I actually know I was gay? Was it when I saw this or heard this? Or,
Right.
It's amazing. And so thank you, Disney, for
Thanks, Disney.
for all your queer contributions to my life.
This is perfect. So we actually wanted to, because we're a great gay family, we wanted to include JT and Ryan, even though they're not on this episode. And so we both reached out to them individually. So I do not know Ryan's answer, and PK, you do not know JT's. So we're going to share theirs. This is their top Yas Queen Disney moment. Are you ready? I'll give you JT's first, okay?
Great.
So JT in typical JT fashion wrote me what I can only describe as a novel.
That feels right. Okay, great.
My first Yas Queen moment is Clarice the Chipmunk, love interest of Chip and or Dale. One of those boys is prob gay, if not both. When I was a kid, we had this collection of Disney shorts, and one of my favorites was the one where Chip and Dale are basically the fabulous Baker Boys in this nightclub, and Clarice is basically their Michelle Pfeiffer. Outside of Julie Andrews and her jolly holiday splendor, she is the most fabulous thing I had ever seen. While my head didn't yet even have the word, my heart was screaming, "Yes, Queen!" Clarice invented charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. She is mother.
Ooh, you said that.
He did, right?
I love that. You know, and it's been established though, right? Like Chip and Dale are historically not brothers, right? And so
it's 2023. I'm not going to throw shade one way or the other.
Well, we're not going down that path, but they I believe they're historically not. So I believe that they are in a relationship, and Clarice, the other chipmunk, is their beard, their collective beard.
Yeah, their beard.
I'm into it. I'm into that. Well done. Thank you, JT, for sending us that. Ryan, in true Ryan fashion, sent us a very short yet spot on top. It's so good. I love this, and I'm ashamed that I didn't think of it. Though I guess it didn't happen in my childhood because we were sort of talking about things that happened a little bit earlier in our lives. But you know what? The spectrum, actually, some of the things that I'm going to talk about are a little bit more recent than that.
Same. Well, mine is older, actually. So
okay, great. Great. So we already broke our own rules. Great. Ryan says his is Shakira giving pop diva realness as a singing antelope in Zootopia. You simply cannot tell me that she is not an ally that all the queer Zootopians love and adore.
Yes. That's amazing.
Ryan. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm shocked that I didn't think of that as a moment in like queer history.
Same. That's a very good. Our boys turned it. That was
They turned
good.
it out. They turned it out. Yeah. My Fab Five is now just the worst.
Same. I actually when I give my number 5, you're gonna be this is not even fun anymore. Okay.
Oh, I'm excited.
Are you ready? So I'm gonna go 5 and then work my way up to 1.
We're digging right in. I like this.
Perfect.
Let's get into it.
Okay. So my number 5. This is gonna be really obscure, but I have to explain.
Okay.
My 5 is Little April Showers from Bambi.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's something about the voices and how a lot of it is done a cappella, which is famously very gay. And now I, as an adult, sing in a choir that does a lot of a cappella music, and there's something insanely happy about the song. It's a lot of stuff in Bambi is very gay. Like the butterfly landing on his tail and him turning around and looking at it. That is gay culture.
You know that I love you, Kale, but I feel like I love you even more because of that answer. That you and I feel like share, and I think actually all 4 of us as hosts share a commonality in that as children we were actually 85-year-old women. As little boys. 1,000,000%. No, 1,000,000%. And then somehow aged even older as an adult. Like I feel 190. But yes. I love it. Well done. Well played.
Thank you.
All right. So moving on to my number 5.
I'm already having so much fun with this.
This is the best.
Same. Okay.
So this is kind of a big one, but I put it at number 5 because I've talked about it so much that I think everyone already knows that this is going to be on my list. I'm going to generally say the entirety of the movie Robin Hood. Right?
Okay.
I definitely was like, as young gay Patrick, I noticed some things that, as one of our tweeters said earlier, I probably didn't have the language for or didn't really understand.
Yeah.
But I knew something was different about the movie Robin Hood, right? So from beginning to end, this film it's just super queer and not
very
gay
much
necessarily,
so.
but it's super queer.
Yeah.
Just about every character, right, is at best sexually ambiguous, I feel like. I mean, the Prince John and Sir Hiss of it all, like the fact that Sir Hiss literally like tickles his ear with his tongue to get him to do what he wants is...
I've done this.
Haven't we all? Really?
Right.
We all? Lady Cluck... absolutely giving us the most incredible lesbian who's ever been created.
Ever created.
Ever created. Drag is constantly used throughout this entire movie.
Yeah, the whole movie.
It's absolutely incredible. Interestingly, every character, not only like just sort of giving us a little bit of queer vibe, is also just giving us an interesting mix of masculine and feminine, right?
Very, very much so.
No one is super masculine. No one is super... Everyone plays on an interesting Kinsey scale, right? It's
very much so.
It's crazy. There's
and not like a helpless damsel in distress. There's not a macho hero. Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
Yeah, Robin Hood isn't even that masculine. Like he's the hero of the movie, and he's just sort of like, let me, hang around with all of the children and play football and like teach archery and it's incredible, and like also sort of have a love interest with Maid Marian, but not really.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's like, does he want to like her? I don't really know. Or is he just supposed to like her? We don't really know. And then the whole like tear down of the establishment of it all was sort of rang true for me. And like that's, it was just sort of like throwing that first brick. This movie just did that. It was great. So I just instinctively knew as a kid, I was like, there's there's something queer about this movie, whether or not I know that I'm queer. But I've said this many times in the podcast, have a huge and had at a very young age a huge crush on Robin Hood as a fox. Who knows? I need to seek a therapist for that. But what do you know?
If it makes you feel any better, mine was Pumbaa.
That does not make me feel any better.
Can I please do my number 4?
Please.
Okay, so this one is going to be a little bit more on the nose than my last one, and I feel like I just have to say it. Everybody is expecting me to say it, and I literally just put everything King Triton: the beard, the shape of his crown, the length of his trident, the nipples, the fact that he has actual nipples. I mean, every part of it, every part of King Triton made me feel something as a boy that I knew I was probably not. I was supposed to probably feel that way about Ariel, but did not.
Yep.
So but everything King Triton. I can remember watching Little Mermaid and sort of even not in a romantic way at all, but even sort of this like safe and secure feeling that character sort of gave you, even though he's sort of angry for most of the film.
That's kind of hot though. That's kind of hot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not ashamed at all.
And like putting yourself, okay, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole right now. We can
Let's go.
This on another day. But like just the fact that Ariel, so let's all not pretend that as I'm talking to specifically our gay boy listeners out there, wanted to be Ariel, right? Mm-hmm. And thought we were, and then her calling him daddy all the time just sort of added an interesting element to it.
It was never father. It was never dad. It was never papa. It was straight up daddy in that high-pitched voice. Mm-hmm. And if you watch that film, Ariel's back always arched.
Oh, you took it a step further, and I appreciate you for that.
Cherry on top.
Don't ever apologize
but
for
yes,
it.
Everything King Triton.
Yeah, well done. I feel like we're like, but we are just like two cisgendered men talking about this, but we're leaving out a lot of our lesbian opinions. So as we go on, all of our lesbian listeners out there and our trans listeners out there, tell us your moments, because we would
love to share.
Yeah, we're just sharing our perspective.
Absolutely.
Note that as we go on.
Very much so. We promise you in the next episode, there will be a spot, even though I won't be in the next episode, I will ensure there will be a spot for us to talk about your Yes Queen Disney moment.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, moving on to my number 4. I'm going to throw out just the character Kronk. The character Kronk.
That's a really good one.
Whether or not is actually family was for sure at least baiting all of us gay boys out there.
Yes.
Right? With his so tight and colorful AF outfits, right? I mean, he was wearing the
hair.
rainbow.
Yes.
The hair, his very overly muscular sort of like gay beach body physique, right? His sort of like farm boy doofus charm that is sort of, he cooks, right? He's very obsessed with his cooking.
Spinach puffs, yes.
Spinach puffs. He loves and he speaks to animals. He's a scout leader. I mean, come on. Just every bit of Kronk was for the gay boys out there. Oh, in my opinion.
And I mean, and regardless of how evil she was, who's not going to hang out with Eartha Kitt? So
100%.
Come on.
Yzma was the one you would hang out with in that movie. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. That's a very good one. That was a serve, Patrick.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
right, moving on to your number 3.
Yes. So this one is going to sound a little obscure, but I remember it still, nonetheless, making me have that feeling as a kid of like, this is something I would do.
Great.
I put the Dormouse being drunk at a never-ending brunch and only opening his mouth to sing and proclaim his fear of the kitty.
Oh, you better serve with that one. That is such a good point. Yeah. And Alice in Wonderland's my favorite movie, and I didn't even think about that. No. Yeah.
So, but it was kind of, because I was trying to really think about like, because with a lot of these things, like I remember like watching Little April Showers, and I would sort of like look out of the corner of my eye to see if anybody else was as into it as I was, or like if King Triton was on the screen. I can remember like looking in the corner of my eye and being like, does nobody see his nipples? And then I was trying to think of moments that stuff like that happened, and I can remember watching Alice in Wonderland, and of all the characters to be at the tea party, I would have wanted to be the Dormouse because he got to sing a solo.
I mean, I have to believe. I mean, can't you look back historically and spilling the tea is kind of literally from Alice in Wonderland?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So you're spot on with this. You're spot on with this. They were spilling the tea all day long with that drunk twink dormouse.
Absolutely. Yes. And I mean, let's be real. The entire tea party is very queer. I mean, Alice in Wonderland in general, but the tea party is the tea party is the opening sequence of Gay as Folk. Queer as Folk. Sorry, Queer as Folk. But it's I specifically can remember like the dormouse and being like, that's who I would be. If I were at the tea party, I would be the dormouse.
I love it. I think I would be the March Hare in that situation.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. I'm the sort of the angry gay of the group. Wouldn't you say?
I don't know if angry.
But the March Hare's a little bit. He's pretty snippy. He's pretty like.
I would definitely be Dormouse. Oh, okay, definitely Dormouse. You probably March Hare. Maybe JT Mad Hatter, and I feel like Ryan would be Cheshire Cat.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I know the Cheshire Cat's not at the party, but like metaphorically, if like he were at the party.
Or
the Cheshire Cat also is very queer.
Very queer. Or Ryan would be the March Hare, and I would by default, I'm Alice, I guess, because I'm
you would be Alice. Yeah, Alice.
I'm the star of the show. That's why. No, I'm just a dumb one. That's why I'm Alice.
Oh. Okay, give me your number 3.
Number 3, I'm going with the couple. I'm going to call them a couple, Pleakley and Jumba from Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
These two characters go undercover on Earth, and their immediate instinct is to be husband and wife. Their immediate instinct is to be husband and wife, and Pleakley immediately puts on a dress and a wig, like without hesitation.
I know.
It's so beautiful, and I don't know, just all of it was so queer and so delicious, and it was never really making fun, right, of like a gay couple or somebody, because they were aliens, right? It was an interesting way for Disney to go.
He had one eye, and he was like, I'm gonna.
Yeah, because it was an interesting way for Disney to go. The joke is not that they're gay, it's that they're aliens, right? That's the comedy of it, that they're aliens like pretending to be a couple on Earth, but they just immediately went into a gay relationship, which it was very, and the way, and even their costuming was incredibly, if you look side by side photos of the Birdcage, the movie The Birdcage.
Yes.
It was very that. It was incredible. I absolutely knew that Disney was looking right at me and saying, you know what? We're here in space, we're here on Earth, right? Queer culture is everywhere.
So this is just a fun tidbit that reminds me every time I see Pleakley in drag, I think about this. So years and years ago, back when like Facebook check-ins were a thing, this is the most Atlanta thing you're ever going to hear. Someone had hacked the check-in page for the Atlanta airport, which is Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, like that whole spiel. And they changed it to it was very obviously a gay person who was hacking into it, and they changed it to LaToya Jackson's Intergalactic Spaceport and Nail Emporium, and the airport would find out and change it back, and then the gay people would find out and hack it again and change it back, to the point where I have a keychain over there that literally says LaToya Jackson Intergalactic Spaceport and here, but the profile picture was of Pleakley in drag. Amazing. And I think about that every time, because of him going jealous, like, and so
we clearly, the gay community has done Pleakley an injustice by not embracing Pleakley as a queer icon. I feel
absolutely,
like.
100%.
Hashtag Pleakley queer icon.
Yes. Okay, my number 2.
I feel like we're going too fast. I want to talk about all of this more.
I know.
Yes, we're down to number 2.
Why don't we do this? Why don't, after we're done, if we can think of some honorable mentions, because there are definitely some that did not make my list.
I have several. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay,
Perfect. Okay. Okay. So this to me is the fiercest moment of any Disney film, and I don't know why, but it's
okay.
Vanessa crushing the seashells under her feet when she gets ready to look in the mirror.
What?
Yes, it's so fierce.
Why is that your number 2?
No idea, because it is so fierce. The sound and the way that she makes no face, like it's no like she is so set on getting to the mirror and hitting that last note of the song. She does not care what she breaks on that. It is yes.
So you had
it's
your
perfect.
diva realness moment with that.
Oh, absolutely. That's what it
Got
was.
you. Okay, I see
yes.
you. Okay.
I can remember like seeing that as a kid and just being like, she does not care.
She gets 0
They
Fs.
can't take her. Yes. But yeah, it is Vanessa crushing the seashells under her feet when she stands on the table to look in the mirror.
Do you know what's interesting? I feel like we're on the same wavelength today. I was thinking about Ursula today in that if Disney was truly creating, like, let's pretend for a moment, and maybe this is exactly what they intended, that Ursula is not a cisgendered woman, right? We're using woman in quotes because she's an octopus, whatever, but is actually a drag queen under the sea, right? And then decides to be like transitions into a woman for this role. Like, how fierce is that?
Right.
And decides to be the fiercest woman who's ever been alive, right?
Right.
That puts men like princes under her spell. I mean, that's pretty. Yeah. That's queer iconery.
No,
right
it
there.
absolutely is. Also, I know that we're on the track of yes, queen moments, but also body positivity. If you had the power to change yourself and make yourself look anyway, Ursula chooses to be this fierce underwater octopus in a skin type. Like, come on. When the whole time she could look like Vanessa, but that's not what she wants to look like.
She's just doing it for a moment.
She is.
Right? Yes. She's doing it for a quick moment.
Right.
Be like, listen, I can do this too. However, here's who I really am. And
right.
Then
and this is who I want to be. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it.
Ursula is so iconic.
Yeah. Just in general, like Ursula is the top of our list. It doesn't even need to be mentioned as like we saw her and she saw us.
Absolutely.
As young kids.
I also want to say I am super intrigued to see what they do with Vanessa in the new film, but I know we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Oh, we're gonna hop all over that bridge. Okay. Number 2 for me would be the Li Shang of it all. The Li Shang of it all for Mulan.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, if I'm even just picking out like when they all decide to bathe in the lake together and take off their clothes.
Yep.
Every single gay boy in the world said, "Oh, that's what it feels like to have feelings down there." Like, honestly, and I don't mean to sound, but like it was a sexual awakening for a lot of people, I imagine. Yeah. And I have to believe, and this has been written about by like scholars and professors, that Li Shang is likely a bisexual character in Disney canon, because you cannot deny that Li Shang was attracted and
to
was
Ping,
into Ping, who was Mulan as a boy. Whether or not Li Shang knew somewhere inside that it was actually Mulan, whatever, he was attracted to Ping in the movie.
And it's also iconic that you never see him, grossed out by that or disgusted by it, right? Like,
there was never a moment of
I shouldn't be doing
God.
that. Yeah. Like that's the cool part. Yes. Icon.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's an absolute icon. Yes.
Absolutely. And I have to believe that Disney knew what they were doing when they wrote the song "I'll Make a Man Out of You," saying this song is going to satisfy all of the like heteronormative people out there.
Right.
Like, yeah, be a man. But we as queer people knew that was a sexually ambiguous song.
Absolutely,
Of like,
yes.
wait a minute.
Absolutely.
This is a sexually charged song.
Well, a sexually charged song, also a song
gender
that I
charged
think,
song as
right,
well.
and yes, and I think a song that we all saw the irony in, right?
Yes,
Be a
yes.
man, like, because how many of us were shouted that, had that shouted at us as kids, and you know what I mean?
No,
And
really and truly.
Yeah, and so no, I think Mulan is such an underrated movie.
It is a fierce movie, and like also taking on that song as obviously I can't speak, and I shouldn't speak for women, but like the song "Be a Man," and ironically, it's a woman who's outpacing all of them.
Absolutely,
and how we need to get rid of that phrase "be a man."
Yeah,
it's like absolutely not. No, be a strong person. Great,
yeah.
But be a man means nothing because all of the other men were incredibly, I guess, for lack of a better word, more feminine in the army.
Yes.
Right. The other lead men were a lot more feminine than Mulan.
Right.
Pretending to be a man. So
no,
anyways,
that's a great point. That's for sure. Oh,
yeah.
That movie, that song, so many levels. Yeah.
So many levels. But going back to Li Shang specifically, boy, Disney, whoever drew Li Shang was like, I'm drawing something that's going to be in my dreams for a while. Like I've been picturing this body for a long time. And I'm putting it on film.
and we are thankful for that.
Thank goodness
we
for gay Disney animators.
Okay. All right. Okay.
We're back. We're here. We're here.
No, this makes me sad. Okay,
we're back
so
to one.
I argue this with people still to this day, and it's you when I say this, it's going to click with you immediately why it is such a yes queen moment. But so make it blue, make it pink. Okay, let me explain. First of all, the fight, them trying to decide on the color of the dress and doing it so haphazardly and so sort of nonchalantly, but being very catty is fierce in itself, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, their friend is in the kitchen ruining a cake. Okay, but let me tell you, the moment in which both fairies take their wands and point it at the dress, and the dress becomes one side blue, one side pink, and it just looks a mess. That's the best the dress ever looked.
Yeah.
It's the fiercest.
I 100% know where you're coming from in this. Yes.
It is the fiercest looking thing in the world. I would have looked at, if I were Flora, I would have looked at Meriwether and said, "We did it. This is it." We've done it. We're miracle workers.
Here.
Like seriously, that's what I would have done.
Here.
But instead, they were like, "It's ruined." No, the dress, the fiercest dress on the face of the planet, and the fact that there is, I've never seen a cosplay or a drag performance of a Princess Aurora wearing the half pink, half blue, just mosh pitted. It needs to happen. I'm gonna make it happen.
It's perfection. It's absolutely
that's my number one moment, because I still tell people to this day that's how the dress should have been at the end of the film.
You know, if I'm digging a little bit deeper into all of this as well, I'll like a confession from my childhood is that I watched that movie to death, right? Like I think I wore out a few VHS tapes of it, and when we would pretend to be the movie. You remember when you were a kid, like, and you would like reenact movies or whatever.
You don't even have to say kid, darling.
I was one of the fairies. Always.
Yeah,
I was not
always.
the prince. I was not Super. I was one of the fairies every single time. Those fairies, for some reason, resonated with me as queer culture. I can't really explain it. And if I'm like playing psychologist, it's maybe because these fairies, right? These magical, super powerful beings were told to quiet down and hide their powers.
Absolutely.
And couldn't do it. And they couldn't do it.
No.
Right? And they were like, and it didn't matter. Like, it didn't ruin the day necessarily because they still saved the day, but they couldn't. Their powers were so powerful, and they were so true to who they were. They could not hide it forever, and it's an iconic moment.
No, it's a super iconic moment. And then also, I don't know, it would be cool to sort of do like a deep dive into that whole film one day. But
yes.
I also think that like, because I don't ever know if this was the intention with the film. You know, I think that like when it was first pitched, I think that they wanted this to be a film that was about Princess Aurora, right? And we know that that's really not what. So it really is a movie about these fairies. If you really watch the movie, it's the fairies movie. And you know, it never says, you know, that they're sisters or anything of that matter, even though they don't always get along. They sort of stick together because they're birds of a feather. Do you know what I mean? And they support each other, and they've got each other's backs, and they live in this cottage and they work together because they know what they have to do. And that's sort of the concept of, you know, us as queer people. A lot of times we get to pick our family, and that's more of a blessing than we realize, you know?
Well done. Well done, number one. I like it.
Thank you. I'm excited for your number one.
Well, I think my number one is not going to be much of a surprise if you've listened to the podcast. I haven't talked about him for a while, but my number one, Kale, is the Reluctant Dragon. The gayest character who's ever been created in not even Disney history, in all of history.
You're not incorrect.
It is, and I knew at a very young age, because I think it was one of the first Disney cartoons I'd ever watched. My dad was a big advocate of like classic Disney history, and he would show me all this all the time. And the Reluctant Dragon, I latched onto immediately, and it's no surprise because that gay dragon is so iconic and so gay and so unabashedly gay. It's almost inspirational how gay he is in the movie. He cannot hide himself from being a gay dragon. It's absolutely incredible. And there's one specific scene that I totally forgot about until I rewatched it this week. There's a moment in the movie where they're pretending to battle each other, the dragon and Sir Giles, who is also a gay character,
right?
Which is amazing. The dragon sort of creates this puff of smoke to create, you know, smoke and mirrors, basically. And they zoom into the puff of smoke, and the dragon and Sir Giles are slow dancing together within the puff of smoke in the most romantic fashion you can imagine. It's absolutely incredible. The love story between the Reluctant Dragon and Sir Giles is a moment in queer history that we don't dissect enough.
No, we absolutely don't. And let me tell you, I actually am embarrassed. I've seen this movie. I've seen it maybe once, but hearing you talk about it, it absolutely, like I can see everything that you're saying. I'm watching that tonight as I go to bed.
I implore everybody to really go back and watch The Reluctant Dragon, just the short cartoon. There's a whole thing that's like part of a Disney history movie and da-da-da. It's a little bit problematic, but the movie itself is not problematic,
right? In
that it is an absolute homage to queer culture, and you cannot convince me otherwise that these two, they're in a relationship, the dragon and the knight, and it's about, you know, masculine roles versus feminine roles. It's amazing. So that big gay dragon, God bless you. You're my number one.
That's a really good one. I think we both nailed number one.
I'm shocked that we did not have any crossovers.
Same actually, because you and I have sort of had discussions like this before offline.
Yeah. Speaking of, I guess, should we get into some also rans that we didn't include in our top 5?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, what do you have? What do you have on your list?
Okay, so the first one on my list was the length of Mickey Mouse's shorts. Now I know that people are going to think that I am being ironic because I very famously like quite a short, right? That's sort of my staple, if you will. But I do remember being a kid and having a plush, actually, like a plush Mickey, and his legs that were coming through the shorts. I can remember thinking, these shorts are tiny and I want them. And I grew up and I got them.
And they were always short, no matter what he was wearing.
Yeah. exactly.
Yeah. The Prince and the Pauper, they were super short. In The Brave Little Tailor, they were super short.
Yep.
Steamboat Willie, super short. Yeah, always short. Until he wore a floor-length gown in The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
This is true, but we don't know what he had on under that gown.
No, 100% short shorts. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have in mine Lady Tremaine's side eye when she said, "I said if." Remember?
That's that's a very, very good one.
I just remember going, "Oh, she fierce. Oh, she fierce."
Right.
100%.
That's very good. So one that I had too was Hercules during Zero to Hero, when they take the Hercules doll and say the word pecs and they pull back his arms and his chest pokes out. That was almost on my list because I can remember being like 9 or 10, I guess, when that movie came out and seeing that scene happen and sort of being like, whoa.
Yeah.
But, yes.
I would say Hercules in general was like,
Hercules
oh boy.
Let me tell you, Hercules could be absent from the film. The muses, come on.
Oh, yeah, I mean, fair. Fierceness.
Come on.
But if I'm talking about like a sexual awakening,
oh,
Hercules
absolutely, yes,
was definitely drawn for us.
Oh,
right?
1,000. The hair. I mean, forget the hair, the body. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the coiffed hair. I also had Scar's line when Simba said, "Uncle Scar, you're so weird," and he just says, "You have no idea." Was clearly him going, "And I'm also gay." Like it was just definitely, it was
very much
quite
so.
Clear.
Let's see. I also had Goofy being a single dad.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Queer culture.
Not really.
Queer
Yeah.
culture.
Well, because, it never implies that there was, a love interest of any kind. So.
Most recently, I have Lena Waithe as the Cyclops cop in Onward. Was lesbian fantastic tree, I will say. It was amazing.
And then this was one that you can edit this out because I literally was going to put it on my list just for the sake of being ridiculous and then took it off.
Fair. Yeah.
I put the sexual tension between the brothers in Onward.
Oh dear.
Absolutely.
I'm not editing that out.
No, I wish you would. But that I just put it on there just because I thought I was like, oh, this will be a nice like little fun throwaway one, and then took it off when my list became mostly very serious. So
listen, you're not the only one who thought that. Let's be very clear. And not because of the characters themselves, because we just knew who was voicing those characters too. We were like, oh God, I wish.
That's 100% yes. Absolutely.
I mean, I always want a Tom Holland just making out with anybody. It's specifically me,
Yeah. I think Onward also is an underrated film, but
I 100% agree. I think that was the last film I watched before the pandemic.
It was
in the theaters.
Yeah, me and the Steamboat Willies saw it the week that before everything went to because I remember us using hand sanitizer and stuff because at that time we still thought it's not coming this way, and then
I almost think this is so off topic. I almost think we need to revisit that movie because I don't know that we all gave it the thought it deserved because it happened so close to the pandemic.
Yeah,
that we all just
very
sort of
much so.
Forgot about it. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel that way about. I mean, I feel that way about Soul. I feel that way about the live action Mulan. That was. I think the live action Mulan was an incredible movie, but I've only watched it the one time. Same with Soul. And
they didn't get the moments that they truly deserved.
Very much so. Interesting, though, that neither one of us said Luca. And can I tell you why?
You know what? It was kind of on my list, but then I was like, I don't know. It seems a little weird to put it on my list, but go ahead.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, so my whole thing with Luca is I actually like the fact that it speaks very highly of two males being friends regardless of their sexual orientation or anything.
Yes.
And it's just respecting and encouraging affection between two men regardless Do you know what I mean?
I absolutely know what you mean.
I mean, even though they're boys, they're not men, but it's encouraging that. It's encouraging that love and affection between two friends, and that's incredible. So that was actually why I did not include anything from Luca, because I like to look at it as if it's encouraging that.
Yes, 100%. If you're so inclined, I was actually it was a couple months ago on a podcast with my friend Vincent, who has the podcast Camp Kaiju, where they review monster movies, basically. Yes. And they had me on, and we did the movie Luca, and we had an extensive conversation about how you don't see that very often, and we talked exactly what you said about whether or not it's queer related. It is so beautiful to see two men, just in general, two boys, two males, show affection towards each other. Is so encouraging and so missing from cinema.
Absolutely. And nobody treats it weird. Like nobody's like, they shouldn't be hugging, or do you know what I mean? Like it's amazing. Luca is a great movie.
It's a great movie that just shows you love is love, regardless of take sex out of all of it. Love is beautiful. So, anyways, boy, did we go off on a million tangents just now.
We did. This was so much fun, though. This was so much fun.
I'm so glad that you brought this to the table to talk about today. It was so fun to research. It was so fun to talk about. And I'm sure all of our Tweedles have a million moments in their Disney queer history of this is when I knew.
And let us know. We truly do want to know them.
Yes, please reach out to us because I can only imagine that you have a lot to say to us.
Yes.
So send us your queer Disney moments in history by reaching out to us on all of the social platforms at GDTD Podcast, or send us your voice memos or emails at info@gaytothed.com.
Drip, drip, drop, little April showers. Dun, 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 dun,
that is the most grandma answer in the whole world, and I'm here for it. Well done. You better work, Kale.
You better work.
You better work. What a fun episode this has been so far.
I agree.
Don't ruin
Even though
it.
during the break, you told me you did not like it.
I didn't say that. I just said that you were okay. I was fantastic.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah. So we come to the end of our episode, of course, in which we do some Quick D. Kale, we're doing Quick D Classic. Again, 2 weeks in a row, we're doing Quick D Classic.
It's the game the stars play. Secret word.
You're going to bring that up every episode now that you're on, aren't you?
Every episode. It's the new Into the Woods. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Kale, question for you, Quick D Classic style. Do you know what Quick D Classic is?
Yep, it's the game the stars play.
Okay, great. Or it is where Kale and I will ask each other a question we've not been privy to prior to recording, probably because neither of us actually know what question we're going to ask yet, and we're going to answer it off our gay cuffs. Kale, are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
Quick D. Do you want to give or receive right away?
I will receive.
Oh, great. That puts me on the spot. Kale, I hesitate to ask you this question because I want to remind you that this is the family version of our show and not the raw and uncut version of our show.
Sure.
What is Disneyland missing in their Disney After Dark Pride event? What are they not telling us that's going to happen during that event?
Oh, okay. Well, missing. I'm gonna say there will definitely be some shirts missing. Definitely some shirts missing.
Fair.
I think that the fact that there's no stand with leather cleaner wipes, that may be a little bit of a miss. Oh, let's think. Definitely vodka sodas, as you said before.
I mean, what a mess.
They may as well get rid of every food concession stand and just more room to dance.
Just
nobody's
vodka
eating.
sodas and pickles, maybe. I don't know.
That's it, right? Yeah. missing. Maybe, you know what? That actually might be the biggest thing missing is they're going to need a gigantic dance floor. Gigantic.
Well, apparently the entire
As gay
dance
people
party
dance to silence.
is along the rivers of America, which is like a mile long, isn't it? That's the whole dance floor.
Okay, but so they obviously don't know that gay people, when they dance, feel like they're going into a hole for a specific reason.
Oh, got you.
And so some people might drown.
So they're missing lifeguards, probably, if they have not
They're
thought
missing
of that.
lifeguards. They're missing life vests, floaties. I was going to say pool noodles, but no, bet they have those.
Nope, they're already available. Just reach out a hand, and you'll find a pool noodle.
Okay, my quick D question. Are you
Great.
ready? Okay, what is there too much of?
In the world? What do you mean? What is there too much of?
I'm sorry, no, hold on. At Disneyland Pride Night. What is there too much of?
What is there too much of?
Too much of.
There's going to be too much security.
Sweat.
Probably.
Security. That's a good one.
We need less security.
Yes.
More. There's going to be too many lights on, probably, at Pride
Too many
Night.
lights on. Right.
There's going to be too much food. I'm guessing they're going to have an exorbitant amount of food that just no one's going to eat it. Do you know what I honestly think, Kale?
Go ahead.
There's going to be too much straight people there. I bet you anything. It's going to be. Listen, we love our allies. We love all of you. I imagine it's like 60% of our listenership are allies. But I bet you there's going to be a lot of gay people who didn't get tickets because there's going to be too much straight people.
This is true because Mackenzie's getting married.
Too many straights. Too many straights.
Too many straights. That will do it for this episode of Gays Do the D. Thanks for listening. To become a patron of the podcast, visit our website at gaysdothed.com/donate. For a donation of any amount, you can receive exclusive Gays Do the D content and help us continue to bring you the very best Disney news and discussions. Continue the conversation after this episode on Instagram and Twitter at GDTD Podcast. Submit your questions or show ideas to info@gaysdothed.com. Have a great week, everybody. See you real soon.